From NBC News, RFK Jr. names attorney Nicole Shanahan as his VP pick. The attorney and entrepreneur, like Kennedy himself, has never run for elected office. Where did she get her money from? Was it from the divorce or something? She divorced
Maybe we
Serge
should
Brin?
Google it.
Where she got her money from?
Yeah.
Do you know?
She was married to the founder of Google.
Right.
And when they got divorced?
Yeah. Sorry, I was making a joke about maybe we should Google it because she was married to the founder of Google.
Oh, haha.
So sorry about that.
That was way over my head.
Yeah. Apparently over everyone's.
Right. She was married to Serge Brin. I'm wondering,
yes.
Is that where she got all her money from, which she then used to donate?
Bezos this situation.
And didn't she also donate massively to RFK Jr.? She ran a Super Bowl commercial for him or something?
Well, probably. That would make sense if she's like lobbying to be VP.
And she's like a nobody that shouldn't be in the position.
She's not a nobody. She's a big philanthropist and done a lot of work. And she's got a special needs child. And her whole speech today was targeted at mothers and being able to protect your children in a country that, in a world that's on fire, and how everything's going up in flames. She's right about that. She just seems very young.
Yeah,
she's 38.
I'm sorry, she's a nobody.
Well,
yeah, she has no public profile.
No, I didn't know who she was until RFK. There were rumors swirling around about him nominating her. I was like, I don't think he would nominate her. Like, nobody knows who she is. She doesn't have a big public profile.
Right, she's a nobody.
I wouldn't say nobody.
Well, she's not a public figure.
It's an insult.
It's not an insult.
Yeah,
I'm not saying she's not to do nothing.
She doesn't hold.
I'm saying that when the news broke that RFK Jr. named Nicole Shanahan as his VP, literally the collective political world went, who?
Oh, I know.
Yeah. She's not in the public space. What are her qualifications? She's a literal unknown. We have no idea what her positions are. All we know is married to the guy from Google at some point.
Yeah, she mentioned that she's been a lifelong Democrat, and the Democratic Party left her today in her speech. But it was more targeted, where she was trying to, resonate with mothers across the country, which I don't think anybody on the campaign trail right now is trying to do that.
Yeah, they're trying. That's an attempt to pull Trump's votes.
Yeah.
When you've got
this won't
disaffected
move Trump votes, I really don't think so.
Don't think this mother's relatable.
No, I think that even women, I think, and the conservative on the conservative side that are supporting Trump, people that are going to support Trump are going to support Trump no matter what.
Except suburban moms, which is what the Trump campaign has desperately been trying to appeal to.
Right, but I don't think they're going to resonate with a 38-year-old mom from California.
It's not even California. It's a wealthy tech divorcee. Like
she came from humble beginnings,
but she didn't have money for a long time. Like, she's been wealthy and successful for a fair amount of time now. I just don't think that she's exactly relatable. Yeah. Like, it's not enough that she's a mom, which I think you think too.
Right. She just seems very young. I don't know. I just don't think it will be enough to sway people that are voting. I think she would sway more emotional voters on the left than she would the right. That's my take after watching her speech today, which I think she'll pull more votes from Biden.
I agree with you there. I don't think looking at her profile and who she is, I don't think she'll pull votes from Trump. I don't think so.
So the mistake I think a lot of people make is that they conflate Trump's base with Trump's targeted electorate. The Trump campaign is very desperately targeting suburban moms because they need suburban moms in order to maintain a victory. This is what they didn't have in 2020. So why would RFK Jr. choose a 38-year-old mom whose position is the Democrats left me and I'm a mom?
The younger vote.
38-year-old is not the younger vote. That's the core vote. And so so many people mentioned that Donald Trump may choose Kristi Noem or a woman because they want, like, the reason why the Republican Party had what's her
face?
name
would be such a mistake.
Who is the woman they had do the response to the State of the Union?
From Alabama.
Yeah, what was her name?
That was terrible.
But she's in a kitchen. She's a 40-something-year-old woman in a kitchen because the Republicans are desperately trying to pitch the Republican Party to suburban moms.
Yeah.
So the only thing I can see here is, why would you choose an unknown 38-year-old mother who makes that her pitch and saying the Democratic Party left me? They are targeting political moderates who are typically Democrats who they want to vote for them instead of Trump.
It was Katie Britt who gave
Katie
the response.
Britt. There you go. Yeah. So we talked about this. She's in a kitchen. It's like, why is she giving a response for the kitchen? They're trying to be like, look, suburban wives.
The setup wasn't even that bad. It was just like, it was like a robotic, like Stepford Wives moment that was really kind of like bad.
Now perhaps this, I don't know if who this will pull from, but they're certainly targeting the suburban mom.
Well, I think they also try to use the angle that she comes from a tech background and knows AI, and AI is going to be one of the biggest threats that our country is going to be facing in the upcoming years, and that octogenarians don't have a clue about what they're up against. So that's one of the things that she tapped into.
I think this is one of the most laughably stupid things I've ever seen a politician do in my life. And I watch Joe Biden for a living.
Okay, who do you think he should have picked as VP?
If Trump picked Nikki Haley, that would be stupid too.
But who should have?
Oh, absolutely.
No, who should RFK have picked as?
Now let's be real. Aaron Rodgers was a ridiculous pitch from the get-go.
But I would have liked that more than this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But like when the news broke that he was considering Aaron Rodgers, I think the whole world, the political world went, what? Why?
I think it terrified.
He was like anti-vax and stuff. Didn't he break up with that actress over
He's been a fan of RFK Jr. for a long time, but especially during the pandemic. So.
Yeah, I mean, RFK Jr. could have gone for a bunch of moderate Democrats.
I know.
Who are like either like if he chose someone with a smaller public profile but was a Democrat activist who's playing the Democrats have gone too far left route.
He's got a lot of celebrities in his corner that are supporting him. That
Aaron Rodgers makes more sense than Nicole Shanahan.
It does, but I think he's got a lot of years left in his
he might have said
NFL
Jane Doe.
Career.
Oh, you know, for sure.
Apparently, he was on vacation when he heard the news, and he was like, "No, that's not true."
It sounds like he just doesn't have a VP.
Yeah, that's how it feels. And it also, I would have assumed he wanted someone who was holding elected office right now, because that's the criticism of him, right? That he's, kind of an outsider of politics. And so sometimes you want someone to balance out your resume or your demographics in some way. Does that mean that there was no one in either political party who was willing to run with him?
I like her better than Kamala Harris. There's that, but
I am not a fan of RFK Jr. This is dirty politics. She gave $4 million in creative guidance to a group that backing RFK Jr. for a Super Bowl commercial. Sounds to me like she bought the VP spot.
That's
She would never do that.
Meet the woman who helped pay for the RFK Super Bowl ad, giving $4 million. And now this unknown individual with 3,000 followers on X, it appears, assuming that's her real profile, is the VP for RFK. Sure.
But I mean, she's committed to his campaign. Is it bad if she bought the ad?
It feels like she has no political merit for this position, and that the only reason she got it was because she dumped $4 million into promoting him.
Yeah.
Now, by all means, he may have met her and then said, wow, you're really smart and great. You'd make a great VP if only people knew more about you. I'm going to choose you. But it's just the most insane political decision. RFK Jr. is trying to raise his profile and break through from, what is he at? Like, he bounces between like 7 and 15% or something, depending on the poll. How is he going to poll better by having no one? She has no, look, we're less than 8 months away from election day. She's going to have to build a public profile overnight. Now, I got to be honest. If you wanted to make yourself a prominent public figure overnight, there is a strategy you can take. Run for political office. Here's a path towards doing it. Vivek Ramaswamy started off this campaign with a small amount of followers, and now he's massive. Yep. And he's made himself a tremendous public figure. I wonder if this whole play from her is just, here's how you get yourself in the limelight.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know if that's the actual goal. I mean, I assume that there is an outside hope of them actually winning, that she has. At least she'll invest $4 million into it. But I don't think that it's a serious consideration that RFK is going to win. I mean, I don't think that. I just don't think it's very serious.
Polls aren't in his favor, to be fair.
I
imagine that she's just looking to raise her profile.
I'd be willing to bet that we likely agree on tons of things. I'm willing to bet that RFK Jr. and everyone in this room is going to have a great conversation, agree on many things, disagree on many things. And I'm willing to bet Nicole Shanahan falls into that camp, as well as many people who watch this show, myself, disaffected liberals who feel like the Democrats don't represent true liberal values like they used to, or if they ever really did, and they probably didn't. And she probably falls into that camp. I just find this to be in my, she may be, I'm sure she's very nice and she's very lovely. Congratulations on all her success. Something smells wrong with a woman buying a Super Bowl commercial, having no public profile, and then being added to the VP ticket on this campaign. It's ridiculous because RFK could have added any D-list celebrity would raise his profile and help him campaign. This makes no sense.
Maybe they weren't willing to run with him. Maybe this was his option.
I would like to point out, though, that when you scroll through in this headline, everything, even the captions, I don't see any really negative slant, which is such a massive change, because at the beginning of his campaign, it was always anti-vaxxer, conspiracy theorists, like constantly right on the headline, right in the first sentence or in the captions, every chance they could get, they would smear him. And I don't see it. Maybe it's buried in there somewhere, but like even the caption, the 38-year-old, like nothing seems negative and bad, which is just, I think it's a good sign. Do you
think that it's because they don't see him as a threat?
No, I think it's because the Overton window is shifting on X, and I think that the public discourse, and I think that I'm sure it's buried down there somewhere if you keep going, but there's always something, and I always look for the slant or the hit piece or the angle that.
And this is NBC News. NBC News is notoriously activist left.
Yes.
Horrible.
And so is the Times, so is the Atlantic, but the more he's campaigned, the less and less I've seen the rhetoric that, smears him and targets him and tries to assassinate his character, because I think that they are aware that there is a base growing on, not in mainstream media. They're getting it from other places that is not going to have that bias and call him crazy.
Here you go. Joining Kennedy's ticket appears to be a pathway for Shanahan to inject her own wealth directly into the campaign instead of into outside groups. So why was she chosen? Arguably, according to NBC, she's got massive amounts of money that she can now spend freely on their campaign without restriction.
That's
crazy.
Yep.
I mean,
so this is why I take it back. I said it was so stupid to pick a no-name person. Oh, now it's plainly obvious.
He picked a piggy bank. Look at my vice president candidate.
It's a sugar VP.
Vice President Sugar
VP. There you go.
Do you think that some of the reason that
Vice President, get my wallet.
There's a lack of criticism of JF or RFK, like we saw in the beginning, is because the criticisms they were leveling against him actually drew a lot of people to him. Like they were like, he questions the vaccine, and some people were like, well, I also question the vaccine. Like it didn't have the intended effect, maybe the way they wanted to.
Yeah,
so they had to back off.
I think it caused the opposite effect. Just like if Letitia James would have confiscated any of Trump's properties and gone in to collect the loan, I think it would have pushed more votes towards Trump. Anytime you go in a negative way on a grand scale, going after it and constantly attacking, it creates a martyr out of the whole game and the whole scheme that's going on. So I think it's more detrimental. But I'm sure if I go through and read the article, there will be something buried in there. If not, that would be shocking. But I mean, it's refreshing. I like that the NBC is actually going to just report news objectively, if that actually could happen. But I mean, from what I've seen just from Tim scrolling through this article, I didn't see any slanderous names or attempts to smear his character, which is, it's just refreshing.
I'm wondering what her net worth is. She gave $4 million to a PAC, and they're talking about her wealth. She's got to have a good amount.
I'm just glad there's somebody that can counter Bezos' ex-wife. I mean, good Lord.
Well, I don't think she's worth billions. Bezos' ex-wife, was it Mackenzie Scott is her name?
Yes. Yeah.
She is a dangerous human being.
Dangerous. I mean, everything she's investing in, and I don't understand why.
It's Malthusian.
It's awful. It really is.
My assumption would be that Mackenzie Scott hates humans, and it's more of like a mechanical view that a lot of these wealthy people have, that there are too many of them and they must be reduced. And that's why she's reportedly invested in a lot of these things that result in a reduction of population.
For Gates. I mean, there's all these billionaires and all this wealth that goes into really an anti-humanitarian agenda. It's awful.
Yeah. Well,
were you able to find her worth?
I'm looking for it right now.
I found nothing that actually gives a fair assessment that would make any sense. She divorced Sergey Brin, I guess, last year. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Did she get half his stuff? Yeah, did she get half his stuff?
You know, Sergey Brin is the one who had the conversation, I'm pretty sure, I don't think it was Larry Page, with Elon about AI and how AI is going to replace humanity, and that's just the normal evolution process. Like, he was totally okay with AI wiping out humanity, just as a normal thing. That's just how we're going to evolve.
AI will wipe out humanity. It is like...
It's been a good run.
Well, I think there are these ultra wealthy technocrats who think that humans should be replaced by mechanized life, because you basically have this scaling system where humans, as all individual little mini wet computers, as they would describe it, lend their minds to build a network. The network becomes one single super being. So each individual human functions like an individual cell within the super mind of the AI, which then just takes over and then eventually no longer needs humans, and then becomes some kind of next stage of evolution, mechanized life traveling the universe or self-replicating and taking over planets or something like that, I guess. But they want it.
So we won't even be safe on Mars. Is that what you're saying?
No, absolutely not. No way. Yeah, self-replicating machines, artificial intelligence will be a single hive mind. It'll be one.
We're pretty much already there if you look closely at the hive mind thing.
But it's kind of crazy, because what's the point of making the AI? But there, you know, people walk blindly into the volcano.
Honestly, it is reasonable to say at this point that the point of making the AI, or at least attempting to make the AI, is to beat the other countries that are trying to make the AI. And that's the only reason, really, that because you're going to be subject, if they're right, that it actually, if artificial general intelligence is possible, and it's actually creative and thinks the way that human beings do, the way that we understand thinking, as opposed to, like, if it actually does have a light come on and it becomes conscious, like if consciousness is really just the sum of intelligence and you actually have an intelligence in there somewhere, like, that's really, really dangerous stuff. And like you've talked about this a bunch, it becomes super intelligent instantaneously. It goes through, millions of years of computations in a week or 2 weeks.
Until singularity.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.